What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology Retold action, spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is Magic. In the right-hand corner of the map, in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Recon. The map, everyone's favorite map, Marsh. Very green, very lush, very relic-focused. Black Lotus here, funnily enough, not going to be that much of a help on a map with this much hunt. Nonetheless, over here we do have that Hestia's Hearth. Going to be a big help for those villagers to get trained out a little bit. Gambantine, Odin's Wand here. Going to be boosting up the temple, or boosting up the temple researches, making the temple researches a little bit cheaper. Nose of the Sphinx over here with a plus 15% base. Onto this side with that adamantine shingles, plus 200% onto the houses there, as well as Bow of Artemis. Going to be making those range units that little bit cheaper. Taking a quick look at the bases here for these two exceptional players. Right here for Magic, he's got a little bit of an opening here for his gold mine that he's going to be having to protect, but a temple and a couple of houses will make this very safe for him. On top of this, up here, he's got a fantastic gold mine behind this town center with some hippopotamus here. Hippopotami? With some hippopotami. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I'm going to go with it. Lurking on this location as well that can get dragged in nice and close to the town center as well. So it might not be a crazy idea for Magic to go for a 5-second town center in this position here. He's also got a nice gold mine over on this side that he can move over to if need be. On the other side of the map here, little bits of problems for Recon potentially here. He's got this gold mine out in the middle of, or out in the front of his base. We're actually affectionately calling this a Recon gold mine nowadays, but there's no Wadgets to kind of pressure this. Could go for a new bite to make some, cause some problems for Recon. Excuse me, cause some problems for Recon in this game if, you know, that's something that Magic wanted to go for. But he's not going to know about this base layout early game just because he doesn't have that Katoskopos priest. If he wants to kind of get over there and get that knowledge, he basically has to run straight for it and also risk being spotted and then getting a villager charging after the priest. You don't really want that. So it's going to be a little bit challenging for him to know this sort of stuff. Meanwhile, over on the bottom side, we see Recon. He's actually not even going to be protecting this position because he has exactly what Magic has, a town center with some hippopotamus and a back gold mine. So that looks very nice for him there. As, I mean, where to next is the big question though for Magic. He does put the temple up. He has left this open a little bit, but protecting the tower over here ever so slightly. I need to change this thing. Definitely forgetting to. Oh no, I've been playing a little bit of Hogwarts Legacy over the past couple of days, and I forgot to change the game back on my stream title. That's fine. It's good. It's all part of the show. I fixed it, okay? I fixed it. Don't worry, guys. We do see that Magic, a couple of villages actually going over to wood. This could be for Sphinx at the moment. Lots of villages on gold. You could also opt in for a town center here if need be. But I'm not sure that this is going to get all of the advantage which Magic's going to want if he does decide to go into these Sphinx. Get up another monument here as well. There's nothing wrong with a double monument and then a town center and then building out Sphinx, Scorpion, and Pitsukos, whatever you feel like. Relic coming in as Magic does decide to get that Hestia's Hearth in for the time being. Over onto this position, we've got the Ursa coming back over here. He does pick up this relic here, Black Lotus. Not a terrible relic, in all honesty, for Recon to be grabbing as he does decide to immediately drop this town center down. If we take a quick look at what Magic sees, has got no idea that this is coming up. You can obviously make a little bit of a guess there with that score dropping. And it looks like it's going to be a barracks here for Magic. Villagers moving up to the top side here to move over onto these hippopotamus. But definitely a very aggressive classical fight going to be coming here for Magic to try and pressure Recon here, who I think is going to be completely happy to sit back on this. Now, the one thing here for Recon is once he finishes up these hippopotamus, these two here and the one that he's gathering, these chickens, they're actually sort of out in the open. This gold mine is out in the open. This berry bush situation here is out in the open. So if Magic can get forward and get some damage done here, it's going to be really, really good for him. He does look like he's got the resources, however, for a town center in the bank. So he's not going for any sort of Sphinx shenanigans. Just a handful of axemen to cause some pressure on the map. And this is, in a way, with this delayed second town center up at like starting at what looks to be about 5 minutes and 50 seconds or 6 minutes. It's very, very late compared to when Recon has gotten his. Now, generally, if you are playing just naked town center versus naked town center, the Norse town center comes up somewhere between 30 seconds, a minute, even as far as a minute and a half, depending on how fast the Egyptian player wants to get their town center up. So a very, very big advantage cooking here for Recon if he can defend his villages moving forward. Now, this is all about Magic just needing to get some sort of damage done, but with a handful of axemen and these Sphinx out and the base being currently shut down beautifully with this wall and this longhouse, and over here also a great hall. Now the only entrance is right here. These Sphinx have to effectively run straight past the town center, which is completely fine to do so, but he has to do that. As we do see the Sphinx coming over here, they spot at Troll. That's going to be a little bit of damage for them to grab, and we'll see if he's actually going to be able to take this out or not, as Troll running onto the town center. Take a look at how much damage the town center actually does, and ask yourself, could these Sphinx run past here? With the Herso, the answer is no, and we are actually seeing Recon even defending up with this beautiful building positioning here with the double houses, and all of a sudden, Recon's base is just a defensive marvel of a construction here. You just take a one look at this and you just go, look at this wall over here, walls over here, towers over here, absolutely beautiful from Recon. Magic, on the other hand, he will be in the center of the map, grabbing Hunt. This is an advantage for him to be having at the moment. His Sphinx now upgraded to the higher coast Sphinx, which making them very, very fast. But he needs to break through somewhere. Over on this position here is probably the most weak at the moment for Recon, as there's not really a way through this position without spending the time to take down the house, which you could potentially do. But definitely some sort of a movement over onto this side wouldn't go astray. But the Herso, they are already in position, and Magic will not be able to get the damage done over here, as the unit's going to be trying to target down this forward wooden wall here. Armory coming down onto this spot as well, as Recon looks to be completely safe, fine, happy at the moment. Magic, on the other hand, it's time to go to the next stage, he says. It's time to go to the next stage. Recon, farms coming down, and you have to remember these farms here, he's got himself this upgrade. So they're gathering at the rate of what irrigation would be at the moment. So 0.8 food per second. If you compare that over to the villagers on this hunt, 0.9 food per second. There is a pharaoh obviously empowering these bad boys up, but in the main base over here, you've got 0.72 food per second on the berries. So the villagers here for Recon on farms actually faster than the berry villagers at the moment, which is pretty crazy to think about, as now the Herso are going to be looking around to get some raids onto Magic, who has not got those defensive buildings set up. No walls here at all, as the Axemen are going to be coming through. Magic will have to retreat. That's a lot of villager idle time caused by a handful of Herso running through onto this position. 5.2 speed is enough to get in and away from those Axemen, as Recon going to be splitting up to the top corner of the map. The Axemen simply just going to be charging over here in an attempt to get a little bit of damage done, as the Herso return back over onto this food situation with some nice control here going after those villagers. But the villagers very, very angry about their distraction action that they've currently been subject to, as they say, get out of here. They pull out their butter knives. They start shanking. But Recon just distracting for the time being. We are seeing more Axemen. We've got that Nephthys coming through in the main base here for Recon. Starting to make through on Axemen, making those Herso. I don't see him going for any raiding cavalry just yet. So a Magic sort of pure, whatchamacallit, like pure Axemen army could be a good way to go, as we see even more ghost buildings coming down, as the Axemen managing to come through. Not going to be able to block this off, as the base here for Magic, just a little bit too out in the open. And these Hursa with that slight speed advantage. It's like 0.9 speed here, which, you know, it's quite a bit when you think about it. But if there were walls up, this would not be enough to like do this sort of distraction. But Magic without those walls is getting a lot of problems with that. But the Hursa aren't doing anything either as they're getting chased around. And now Magic has got himself up a forward Migdol to put some pressure in onto this forward location here. As the Axemen trying to charge through, we will be seeing some Axemen getting sniped down as they're going to be pulling back over onto this position. The Axemen need to come back up here. We've got heavy Axemen through. And at this point, when you see this army, which Recon's built, all I'm thinking now as the Oasis player is, give me some chariot archers to just absolutely smoke this army. There's no raiding cavalry. There's no anything to deal with chariot archers right now. Hursa not fast enough. Axemen enough to kind of block the damage that's coming through there, and the chariot archers will just snipe everything. But Magic, he's got himself 42 villagers on food at the moment, 9 villagers on gold. And he's decided to go Axeman, Camel Rider at this point. So we'll see if this is going to work. Now, arguably, full Axeman is a unit composition which makes some sense against this Camel Rider heavy Axeman composition. Just on the fact that the Camel Rider only has 15% hack armor, and these bad boys are dealing hack damage. Now, it's only a tiny bit of it at 4.4 damage, hack damage per second. But, you know, with enough of them, it's always going to be relatively strong. And these bad boys do have 30% hack armor as well. So it's not a terrible idea to go down this. Where this problem starts, where this unit composition, which Recon is cooking here, starts struggling, is when Son of Osiris comes in, and all of a sudden that Son of Osiris is untouchable. As the Berserks, forces some Berserk conversions over here as these villagers get caught out of position here. Oxcart getting cleaned up onto this spot. Villagers getting pushed back. There's the Heroic Age in for Recon. Economic upgrades, just to take a look at them. No, none of the unique upgrades in for Magic just yet. This is Migdol Stronghold under siege here. The Axemen now coming in a little bit late. You have to remember there's also going to be a Flaming Weapons here, but Flaming Weapons can get countered to some degree by a good Ancestors Eclipse. So long as the Ancestors are nice and close to these Axemen, it should be somewhat fine. But in a way here, Magic might be wanting to just sack this position. Axemen come through. Ancestors Eclipse gets dropped down. There's the Flaming Weapons as well as the minions charging in to try and take out this position. The Battle Boars on the back getting some good damage done here as all of these units here for Magic end up getting absolutely cleaned up here. Ladies and gentlemen, that Migdol Stronghold is going to go down as well. And Magic in full retreat. He's clicked up through Thoth at the moment, which is, I mean, it's an idea here. We'll see if he's got the time to make this happen or not. As the Axeman coming over here in an attempt to hold. Migdol Stronghold goes down. Villagers retreating back. Battle Balls going up to the top side of the map here as Recon is going to push straight in an attempt to take out Magic's town center in the center of the map here. And Magic now coming back in with these Axemen. And he can take out all the Berserks in the world. He can also take out these thrown Axemen if he gets onto them, which he does manage to do so here. Good garrison micro. These Axemen do carve through the thrown Axemen if they get close enough to them. But there's just not enough of them, it seems like, at the moment. As with a Mountain Giant spawn, a Battle Boar here as well. It's just more than enough for Recon to start absolutely smoking this position. There's Magic now coming up over here, going to start getting some damage done onto this position here. Can he hold at the moment is the big question. Another town center coming down as well. Looks like it's just going to be all barracks units all the way. The idea of potentially going for Axeman Slinger here, just to keep himself alive, this Migdol Stronghold is going to go down as well, might be the best shout here, but he has picked Thoth, which I do not think is going to be much of an assistance here against those battle boards and against this mountain giant, against all these units here as well. As more and more of these myth units will start coming through, we also got that Thurizaz's rune coming in to get some HP regen onto these myth units as well, so that they're going to just stay on the map for just that little bit longer. Meanwhile, town center coming up over here, hill fort coming up over here, another town center coming through into the center of the map for Recon. He's at 80 villages at the moment. We just see up over on this position a longhouse checking this position out here as Valley of the Kings queued up for Magic, as we'll see what he's going to be able to do here. So those Phoenix starting to fly forward in an attempt to take out some of these units. Got those battle core just sitting, waiting, watching. Well, I mean, where are you going to drop the meteor? Do you drop it into the main base, try and kill off all the farms? Do you drop it onto the army and try and get a whole bunch of unit kills there? I mean, this is the big question. And in doing this, he is giving a lot of time over to Magic, who can now afford to spam out these chariot archers, which he obviously needs to deal with this army at the moment. And all the farms looking like they're going to be going down. Not a whole lot of wood in the bank here for Recon at the moment. The villagers also taking a serious amount of damage. No more meteors to come through. Not really losing that many villagers here as the farm's getting placed down. And now all of a sudden Recon, he's still 3 town centers, but he's lost his main town center at the moment. And this does give some time over to Magic, but Recon is using this time now to say, well, let me go to the Mythic Age. Let me get that Fimbulwinter in, and we'll just continue a little bit later here. He doesn't need to produce any more military units here. In fact, Recon, he could probably get some armory upgrades through while he's rebuilding these houses, while he's thinking about getting this town center back over here. He can just send 1 unit back if need be. He's going for all of his berserks at the moment, which isn't a terrible idea, but it will allow Magic a little bit of something here. I mean, Magic could raid up onto this gold mine here, but at the moment, it's just looking like Recon's base or Recon's setup is just very, very defensive. So we've got the Sacred Cats coming through, Champion Chariots also on the way. Magic now poking up onto this spot. Both players now at full population. Still a significant advantage here for Recon. If we take a look at the armory upgrades, Magic's got none, and that's going to be the big problem for him. He's now clicked these up, but I see a catapult in. But Magic, well, he does have 3 armories, or he's got more armories started up. So he's going to be able to get these upgrades in very, very quickly here, if he's got the resources for it. And that's going to be the big challenge. That's going to be the big challenge here. There's a town center just about to get taken down here. We will see the immediacy of this Fimbulwinter becoming very, very apparent to Magic in a moment here. Is that Berserker Gang coming through, Champion Infantry also going to be coming in here as well. Flood Control coming through, all the upgrades in the world. We've got the Huskal on the way as well here. Magic on this position, he does have Nebty, so those priests will be very, very strong. Going to be attempting to repair the town center back up. It's just the 1 catapult for the time being. Now, catapults, they actually do a decent amount of damage to units as well. This is a little something that most people don't realize, but it does get a bit of an advantage here. There's a great hauls coming up onto the back here as well. And Recon just still taking his time. If we take a look behind his base, we are starting to see Phoenix cutting a little bit of damage done onto these villages. Recon's going to be a bit careful with that. Can get some goatees out to go and deal with it, but he is at full population here. Another idea for Recon at the moment, which is not insane at all, but just to completely finish this game off and just put all questions out of his mind, is to just convert all of his villages into berserks and just say, all right, Magic, let's deal with a Fimbulwinter, which idles your economy, while I've also got 260 population, not even 260 population, 360 population running at him. He's got the resources effectively to do this as well in the bank. But maybe he doesn't need to do it as he's charging 4 Chariot Archers, getting that shoot and scoot micro in, take out those Norse units here as Recon up to the top side of the map, trying to pick off everything up here as the Phoenix will get picked off. Some Axemen coming up onto this position as well as the fortified town center almost taken down. The Chariot Archers do manage to deal with this small force from Recon as Recon trying to get out a whole bunch of Berserks and Huskar. You have to remember that he's gone for Forseti, Bragi, and Tyr here. So these Berserks are absolutely stonking, but there are a whole lot of Axemen here as Fimbulwinter gets dropped down. The Fimbulwinter Wolves don't hit onto this position, however, as those priests are going to immediately start erasing the battle balls, but the Chariot Archer Axeman army does seemingly get erased on the top side there as a Iron respawn coming through to help out. The final priests do end up falling, and Recon manages to remove the army of magic yet again here. So over onto this position, Watchtower's going down. I mean, what else can Magic do? I mean, he can continue to build these Chariot Archers, but he definitely does need Axemen here first and foremost. No champion Axemen either, as these upgrades here, full bronze. Magic at the moment, he's got some actually some good upgrades here himself, but it's just looking like he is so absurdly far behind at the moment. Dolts over here going down. We do have a hill fort on this spot as the villagers are going to get taken out by a handful of Berserks, and Magic's economy is now dropping down to 62 villagers here. As Recon just has full map control, he can send units all across the map, just sniping everything. Houses going down over here. You see that Iron Shield's also on the way now for Recon. That's in that moment. Magic does decide to tap out. And Recon claims this win here with this Loki. I mean, Magic tried to get some early pressure done with the Sphinx and the Axemen, but he just couldn't really do anything. This base was just so obscenely good for Recon. And the fact that he goes far second town center here, basically naked. You know, it was a naked far second town center. It was just her, sir. Potentially, if Magic had just sent Axemen straight to this location here, the game would have been over and Magic would have won this one, right? At like 5 minutes into the game. It's a very risky move going for this far second town center. However, when you're advancing at the time that Magic advanced, let's have a quick look at this. 4 minutes and 37 seconds here, so it should be a 4 minutes and 30-second advance time. You have to account for the barracks to be built, which you can Pharaoh empower up. So maybe it's going to take about 10 seconds to build that. So that's 440. Then the Axemen spammage, you get 2, 3, 4 Axemen out and get over here. Yeah, I reckon you can take this town center out if you scout it. And this was something that Magic just did not get the obelisk in to know. And scouting is everything. If he knows this, then I think this just doesn't work out for Recon all too often. But he misses it. Magic is not able to hold on after he is significantly far behind on all of this stuff here. Civilian unit count will tell the story of a Norse player being incredibly far in front on villager count, which generally is not the case. And because of that, you will see these resources just go absurdly in favor of the Norse player. Nonetheless, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game. What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology Retold action, spawning in the right-hand corner of the map in the blue color, playing as Gaia. His name is Magic. In the left-hand corner of the map, in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Recon. Yes, we just watched one game of Magic versus Recon. Now we're going to watch another game of Magic versus Recon, because that's the type of Age of Mythology stream, YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it, that we're about. It's going to be high-level action all the time, no matter what. I don't know what I'm talking about, but we see Pandora's box over here. I like this one. I actually love this relic. And it makes the myth units cost less, which just means if there's any sort of myth unit play you want to do, you can just do it, but more of it. Meanwhile, over here, we do have ourselves another relic. Got that Rhea's crown here. Villager center, Citadel center, getting a little bit cheaper on that spot. Over here, we've got the Bow of Artemis, making range soldiers that little bit cheaper. Man, there's some good relics here. And also, Ring of the Nibelung on this bottom side is going to be very, very strong. Thank you for the Prime, Hidamaru. Appreciate you, my friend. What happened to almost saying Titans Action? Yeah, I got better. I actually stopped saying this introduction. It felt weird doing it when on the big stage when I was casting some games on EGC TV's channel. I felt a bit weird doing it there, but yeah, we're back and we're doing it. It's part of our shtick, so you know. I'm never gonna change. I gotta have a shtick if not anything else. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup here, because you know, what are the options for these two players to go for? I mean, there's two really strong classical age gods in this matchup for Gaia. I think Oceanus is absolutely fantastic in getting Bite of the Shark for the Murmillo. All of a sudden, the Murmillo does actually beat out the Hoplite in a 1-to-1 duel. And also, the Murmillo is beating out the Athena Hoplite, completely upgraded as well, in a large duel. Where things get a little bit messy is when Toxotes start joining into the fight, and also when Arcus start joining in as well, because Arcus, Toxotes does a little bit more DPS. The Hoplite will have a little bit more pierce armor because of the Aegis shield upgrade available through Athena. So you've got to figure out a slightly different way through that situation. Now, my preference is to go pure Murmillo and get handful of Contarius out. So instead of going for any Arcus in this matchup, I just don't think that Arcus are the way. We'll see. I mean, it does depend on choke points and things like that, but I definitely have found myself having more luck just going Murmillo, Oceanus, Murmillo, and Contarius. Now, there's a completely different way that is super valid to go for as well, which is going for Leto. And everybody scoffs and goes, you can't go Leto, that's the terrible god. It's not. It's actually very strong in many different matchups. Some matchups, not so much. I will admit that it's not a god to go in every single situation, but against Zeus, against Hades, against Poseidon, all these gods, I wouldn't say it's a troll strategy to go for that. You get automatons, which when massed can be very potent. We are seeing Oceanus coming through and Athena, but nonetheless, we'll finish this line of thinking. You get the automaton, which is really strong. You get the spider lair, which, if used correctly, gets huge value against a Greek player. And also you get that upgrade. I think it's called Hephaestus' Revenge. Let me have a quick little check. Volcanic Forge. Hephaestus' Revenge is for the automaton. So Volcanic Forge is another upgrade you can kind of grab there, which boosts all your units' pierce armor up, and then all of a sudden your Murmillo compete in that fight against the and your Arcus compete in that fight against the Hoplite Toxotes army, or even a Hoplite Peltast army or something like that. So yeah, there are some options here, and we'll have to wait and see how this situation is going to go, as it looks to me like Magic here is going to be looking to just drop himself a fast second town center, coming over here to drop this one. Now, I've done some math on this. If you want to play an aggressive opening here against the Gaia, the idea should not be to snipe hero citizens on this town center. The actual idea should be to just attack the town center and take it out. So if only 2 hero citizens are on here, this isn't going to be doing a crazy amount of DPS onto the town center, so to speak. Like the town center is going up by like 30 to 40 HP a second, so you just have to do more damage than that to clean this up. And I think it is actually possible to deny that town center if you want to go for an aggressive play. And now you do have to scout that it's coming, Obviously, we've also got military barracks and units coming through here as well for Magic, so you're going to have to be a little bit worried about that. But both players just saying, no worries, it's going to be a boom off here. Walls already starting to come up for Recon at the start of the game. It's almost like we're back to playing Legacy. I remember all of the games of Zeus players, Greek players, Hades players, Poseidon players doing this to me as Egyptian, where I would go for these really, really efficient, fast heroic builds, which meant I could not afford to put walls up anywhere. And they would go for these super inefficient, sort of like sloppy builds that doesn't matter because they just send villagers all around the map, get walls up, and then my timings all get ruined. So it's quite a nice way to play here, as now Magic, on the other hand, he's ready to start getting some damage in. That Minotaur going to be pushing these units back, but every little bit of fighting that Recon does here with good micro, that's just going to be healed back up. That's just value for the Caladria here. Got a question from Ape Master. How does Contarius Arcus do versus Hoplite Toxotes? Unfortunately, not very well, is my experience. The Hoplites will kill off the Contarius much, much more efficiently than the Contarius kill off the Archers, and the Arcus just don't kill off those Hoplites very fast. Athena Hoplites. If they're Ares Hoplites or Hermes Hoplites, sure, Arcus all the way. It's that Aegis shield tech that just puts them sort of over the edge, so to speak, in sort of the soft counter that an archer is against an infantry. It's like not a hard counter unit like a Hypaspist or an Axeman. So yeah, the Athenian Hoplite is the trouble. But then again, if you're playing against the Ares, or actually no, the Ares Hoplite is a little bit stronger against the composition I was suggesting of going Mermillo Contarius because they have divine damage. But Hermes, yeah, go for your life. Mermillo, whatchamajigget you get? Mermillo Contarius, not a bad idea at all. There's a Minotaur. Slowly getting sniped down here. Good micro here from Recon with these Terma for the time being. As some slowdown situations happening over here. Over onto this position, got those Mermillo. Going to be sneaking through to try and take out some villagers on this position. Recon getting a little bit overzealous being there. I mean, he's kind of walled it in, but he then gets broken down. See a couple of Hoplites coming in an attempt to defend this one. Some really, really nice harassment early game here from Magic to keep Recon on his toes for the time being, denying some walls. The walls are also coming down for Magic as well, as both players are going to be trying to get themselves set up as the Minotaur gets sniped down. One Mermillo gets taken out, another Mermillo gets taken down. The villagers, however, going to come in and rebuild this wall back up, as Magic might get himself into a little bit of a difficult position here. We do see the Terma coming through to get some arrows shot off, but good micro from Recon. As the Caladria here getting sniped down as well. Beautiful control thus far, as Magic needs to pull back. He's got to... I need to tell him. He's got to fix this farm thing somehow. It's killing him. It's killing him. It really is. I'm going to just start using Alt for attack move. From now on, just hold Alt and right click. That's the way to attack move, guys. It's the new meta. We're changing it from A, it's just Alt. Okay? Everyone say it with me. Use Alt to attack move. Never again will Magic have to use F and accidentally build a farm. I mean, the other option would be to complain to the devs hard enough for them to say, make it so that if you're controlling a whole bunch of villages and army, that you can't build any buildings. It's actually not a terrible idea either, but sometimes you got to just work for yourself in these sorts of situations. Over here you see Magic going for a third town center. A little bit of aggressive on that one, as the Hoplites, they're in position to charge up here and deny this. These units here for Magic, very, very slow. He's going to come up here, but too little too late. Villagers will be retreating away as those Hoplites charging in. We see Apollo already clicked up now for Recon here. There's an armory going to come down for Magic. Maul's coming down over onto this position as well, as now those extra upgrades. Aegis Shield coming at 15% pierce armor is a lot of pierce armor. Nonetheless, Tower's also coming down. Hand Axe also coming through. There are these villagers up onto this position. What does Magic actually see here? He sees a gold mine there, so... I mean, he might be convinced that there's nothing over there for the time being, but I think 11 minutes into the game, you've got to be checking that out. But nonetheless, they are clicked up. Both players here ready to get that heroic age situation going. As Magic going to be creeping in onto this position here. He's still got those Carabalister here on this spot. They're looking mightily strong with the Carnivora getting dropped down over here as well. He does pull back over here beautifully, but the Hoplites coming through. Restoration forced out here, and Magic at this point, he can just run away. He's got what he needed. That's one restoration down. Yes, there's 2 villagers on this temple here that are gathering themselves 40, not 40 favor per minute. How much favor per minute is this? Well, 0.22 favor a second. You do the math on how much a minute that is. But he's probably going to be able to get up to 80-ish favor very, very quickly here. As those Hero Terma trying to circle around onto the side here to take out the Manticore. Recon going to be retreating away with this one. Who wins this fight at the moment? We do have some Pierce or some Hack Armor upgrades here. So it looks like the Mamillo for Magic are going to be doing very, very nice things over here. Manticore gets pushed back all the way into the main base. There's the Heavy Hoplites, however, that come through. Will it be enough is the big question. It is a close fight most of the time here. Town Center still not about to be finished here, though, as the differential in units very close. We've also got that Ballistics immediately coming in. Arcus coming through. Some Dryads to come in and support on this position here as the Town Center 5 seconds from completing. And now Magic is on 3 town centers. Recon also on 3 town centers, however. We might be seeing the smallest of lulls here, but Recon says, no lulls, I'm going to be fighting. But fighting underneath the town center at the moment, he is. As Magic is now trying to mass up this Arcus army, but we've already got the Peltas coming through. Nice Gaia Forest here in an attempt to defend the town center, but it looks like it's not going to really be enough here. As, I mean, how many buildings does Magic have? He's got 6 out at the moment. As this town center getting torn down is going to be very, very challenging to deal with here. Manticore coming in onto this position does manage to snipe those down with the hero Arcus, as those Mamillos charging in here to help out. Town center almost finished off here as the villager tries to repair it back up, but Recon manages to claim this position here as he's still trying to break through, trying to get the damage done. Over onto this position, we've got that Dryad going down. Odysseus is packing a punch for the time being here. But at the moment, Magic's macro is a little bit out of shape here. Got a lot of villagers on gold, not many on food, not many on wood here, and he's really, really struggling to produce here. Does he have a market? No market here to just buy anything. He's now deciding to move some units elsewhere. Comparing over onto Recon's situation, Recon's got himself a lot of very, very good stuff going on. He has that fortress up over here. He can put another fortress over onto this position, really start controlling gold mines if he wants. Up onto this position as well, he can go for that. The Hoplite's cleaning up these Aurochs for himself as well, so he doesn't have to deal with that. But what's the next plan here? For Magic is the big question. Fortress coming down for Recon. Love that. Control this spot. Enjoy this spot. Be this spot. Villager's going to sneak around onto the top side here. As he does manage now to get those resources under control. Looks like, I don't know if he bought anything here or if he just managed to spend it all. As he's now going to be getting himself the heavy upgrades to try and break through. Fortress now almost finished up. Lots of low HP villagers on this position, however, as you know, those Arcus can really pack a punch here. One thing for Magic wouldn't be a bad idea is an economic guild on this spot to get a little bit of HP regen over here. Look at that Stymphalian bird just flying over onto this position. The villagers almost all sniped down. They do manage to prevent the fortress from coming up here. Howard Hughes, thanks so much for the 33 months, my dude. Appreciate that one. But the villagers here diving in an attempt to take this position here. Magic desperately going to be attempting to stop this, but he's not going to be able to as the fortress is now up. And all of a sudden, we do have ourselves a very, very defensible forward base set up by Recon, as Magic is going to have to figure out another way through here somehow. I mean, what answer does he have right now? If he goes for the Mythic Age, that's going to allow Recon... He's got that underworld passage. He could probably just underworld the main town center at this point right now. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to completely block that off, or at the very least pick off something here. Nonetheless, we got the magic units slowly starting to push forward. Going to try and take out the fortress here. Peltast on the back here, going to be coming in. Those Arcus now starting to snipe down the Heracles. We've got the Jason on the back here also doing some things. Peltast barely... Well, there's a lot of Peltast here. They are getting some good value, but I mean, how many do you really need to take down this many Arcus? There's double the amount of Arcuses there are Peltast for the time being. As Recon, he's seemingly... I don't know if he's like mismacroed or something. He's not producing units. Maybe he wants to go to the Mythic Age, get a Lightning Storm out. This might be a mistake. At the moment, he needs army. Otherwise, he's going to be getting pushed off. We see some hoplites coming in over onto this position here to try and take out the villages of Magic. We've got some destroyers over here to hold on as well. As the Magic Arcus going to be sniping down Peltast and all the other good stuff here as well. Recon, he has managed to click up through Hera, but so too has Magic managed to click up through Atlas. And in doing so, he's got his position back. And here's the thing. This is the thing about Implode and about Atlas in general and about everything about this God Power. If you use it offensively, it feels $1,000,000. If you use it defensively, yeah, it doesn't feel very good. Because your opponent, like, you need to have stuff. And we got Magic. He's got stuff everywhere. He's now deciding to raid all over the map. Recon doing the same here, just trying to make something happen. Will he lose the town center is the big question. It's looking like it might go down. No fortified town centers. Nothing really there. Magic also doesn't have any sort of upgrades on his town center either for the time being. Lots of Arcus actually still coming through here as the Jason... will end up getting taken out. Town center will end up going down here as well. Up onto this position, the Arcus getting pushed back. But in spreading out his army, that also allows Recon to defend himself by spreading out his army as well. Some very rare destroyers actually in this fight as well. These things pack a punch, but they pack a punch against a building only. They're not very useful in these fights, so they do defend against the Peltast very, very nicely. Lots of Dryads now coming through as Magic trying to spam out his units a little bit. He's getting pushed back over this position as well. Recon at the moment does still have double gold mines down the bottom here remaining, as some villagers will come through in an attempt to get this town center back up. The Hoplite's going to be able to clean up these destroyers here pretty quickly. Jason also in to help out with taking out the Dryads. Meanwhile, Arcus still trading on this spot. But both players splitting up their armies at the moment. It does mean, like, where do you drop your God Power? And it looks like Magic says, I'm dropping it here. The secret to... let me tell you the secret to dealing with Implode. The secret to dealing with Implode is to run into the black hole, not away from the black hole like you naturally feel like. You want to run into it. Now, I don't know if this is like intended or not. I did have a dev question if this was actually the case or not to me. But if from my own testing in the editor, if you run directly into the Implode, the units will get sucked in quicker, and then therefore you will take less damage from the Implode. However, there is still a Lightning Storm to come as Recon still holding onto it over onto this position. The Bellerophon here, very good at finishing off all of these Dryads, but no micro coming in onto this position as the Peltast still charging forward over here. We've got ourselves a Fire Siphon versus Heliopolis situation here, but Magic going to be noticing this in terms of the trade. These basically trade 1 for 1 as far as I'm aware, as this Palace over here for Magic will end up coming through. Dryads coming in as well. Lightning Storm going to be getting dropped down onto this position now. The army for Magic can dive into the palace, but he will end up losing this palace after the fact here if if he's not careful. Is he actually going to? It's going to be close. Yes, there he goes. And then all the units will end up falling afterwards. And Recon manages to hold here. Meanwhile, the Fire Siphon, however, on the top position, taking down this fortress. Can Recon hold on both fronts while being... Both players at the moment, actually, they're struggling for population. So, kind of so long as Recon can keep taking good fights here, which I'm not sure is 100% possible, it's not going to matter that he doesn't have this town center. Both players at 100 villages. Recon at full population means that he's going to be able to get some decent upgrades cooking at the moment, so he doesn't really need the town center just now. He could replace the town center with fortified town centers as well as an option if he can just continue to deny this one from going the wayside of Magic, as those champion Mamillo starting to come in, getting some good damage done over here as well. As Magic holding up onto this position, over onto this spot. I mean, there's still going to be Underworld available here for Recon to use at some point in this game. So if he wants to go for this, he's just going to have to go for it. There's not really any other... There's not two ways about it. Sack this position, go for an Underworld play potentially over here, take this all for yourself, push into the main base or something, cause a bunch of chaos with that. Seems like a good idea, especially if he can get himself out like champion infantry while Magic's trying to secure this town center. However, it looks like after all is said and done, the town center is going Recon's wayside. However, Recon slowly starting to run out of gold on this bottom position. He's pushed off the gold mine at the top. There's only 400 gold in it, so it's not the biggest of deals. We do see some Fanatics coming into the fight here. Now, these Fanatics are strong. They get themselves that bite of the shark, as well as potentially here, if Magic wants to, he can get himself this upgrade here, which I always forget the name of it, Devotees of Atlas, which in my experience, I'm not sure if they actually do anything or exactly what that upgrade does, but in my experience, the Fanatics, if massed, very, very strong, with at least with Oceanus, and then you obviously want to add in everything you possibly can to make them as good as possible. Devotees of Atlas to come through and help out seems like a good idea nonetheless. And so Mamillo charging forward. Odysseus on this side, almost going to be going down. Mamillo trying to break through onto this position here as the hoplites will manage to defend to some degree, but in this position here, Recon says the game is lost. He's getting pushed in onto the top position. He's getting pushed in onto this bottom position. This town center just not going to be able to survive here. And, you know, sometimes when you're behind in population, the best way to play is just to go, let's go for something else. And I think that the Underworld here was probably the only serious option which Recon had to go for in this spot. Get himself champion infantry in, stop fighting, champion infantry in, Underworld from here over to this spot, over to this spot, kill off a bunch of villages, kill off the town center. Magic would absolutely need to pull back, and then potentially you could pop back out over here and then charge in and kill this town center and then take it. And then you're in somewhat of an equal position, right, at this spot. And equal position for Zeus here would be advantage for Zeus here. I'm interested in exactly how this game looked from a resource standpoint. Yeah, you know, Magic with the Gaia is in front, so this is what you would expect from Gaia most of the time. Civilian unit wise, Recon does catch up, but he's not really able to stay at this 100 villages very easily, and it does make sense here that Magic is able to win that economic duel. And the next stat that is interesting is how's that kill loss, and it's only slightly in favor of Recon, which does not make up for the differential in units killed in resource value that he's behind. And this does mean that, you know, Magic is able to find that W. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider following the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.